Hey guys, it's Manhwa here. Have you ever wondered what would happen if your world could only be saved by an absolutely overpowered, yet socially awkward, mentally unstable, self-described pedophile and a certified chronically online Reddit mod? All of this presented in some of the most unique, jaw-dropping, and breathtaking art ever put on a screen? Well, boy, howdy do I have a story for you today. Now, without further ado, let's hop right into the story. Our story starts at the concert of a popular girl group, where the reporter decides to interview one of the hardcore fans of this group, who just so happens to be our protagonist. During the interview, our protagonist, whose name is Jingyuk, who I'm gonna call MC for the sake of simplicity. Our MC decides to do a little play on the words when the reporter asked him, "Who is your favorite member?" To which he said that it's the youngest member, Soa. He then explains that everyone around him knows that he likes her the most and that he is known as a pedophile. Yes, you heard that right. My dude just called himself pedophile right then and there. But the thing is, as I stated before, he only made a play on words where he tried to say that he is obsessed with Soa. But I guess in Korea those words together sound like a pedophile, so yeah, tough luck there, buddy. He then basically gets doxxed and gets labeled as a pedo, which just straight up fucks his life. After that, he just casually gives up on life and becomes a shut-in. We then see him living that Reddit mod life, just trolling people in chat groups and being a general waste of space and oxygen. Later, he notices a bug in his room, so he grabs a spray to get rid of it. And well, gosh darn, wouldn't you guess it, he gets summoned to another world by a young girl. She then hits him with the, "Pikachu, I choose you." Now go fight that thing, okay? And as he turns, he then sees this massive thing in the distance. At first he's like, "Oh, hell nah, dog, you expect me to fight this?" But then his inner reap takes over and he goes for it. His master tactic is to use his little spray. But obviously, nothing happens, right? Right? Our girl is basically like, "Yeah, this guy's a goddamn idiot." And then boom, baby! The massive bug explodes as if his name was Hiroshima. Afterwards, the pair chats, and while MC does say his usual cringy stuff, we finally learn that the girl's name is Ai Hayes. Though later they call her Main, but I'm gonna stick with Ai. Just hearing her name straight up triggers our MC's PTSD, cause I guess her name could sound like pedophile again. I am not Korean though, so that's all I can say about that. I then thanks the dude, slaps his metaphorical cheeks, and sends him home. And as he gets home, he basically thinks of this whole experience as just a dream. We then meet his parents and see that he is avoiding them because of his extreme psychological trauma. And while his mom is quite clearly caring and considerate of her son's condition, his father is pretty fed up with his bullshit, calling him worthless bastard. Same, dude. MC then turns off his PC only for him to suddenly be falling from great heights again. In the fantasy world, we see I regrouping with other people, one of which is named Lady Alera, and an older looking dude called Jake. Jake then proceeds to tell a story where if you mess around on this particular mountain range, you get branded and hunted by a demon known as Master of the Mountain. I then recalls the damage our protagonist did to surrounding area during the last encounter and gets branded with a mark on her forehead. Lucky for her, MC gets summoned and then promptly dispels her mark by just "Huck to and spit on that forehead." Same tactic then works on all the minions of Master of the Mountain. Next up, we can finally see the Master of the Mountain himself get up, and oh lord, is he massive! You know the script by now. MC starts sprouting some cringy lines that would make me want to end myself. Even poor I, who is forced to listen to him, is like, "That's a little too much, man, eesh." This time, MC tries to use battery from his PC mouse, which he brought with him by the way, to shoot a massive Kamehameha through our big boy. And I mean, just look at this! After MC gets back to his world, he tries to brag about what he did, which nobody believes. Well, duh. And same goes for Ai actually, who we learn is also known as a useless fuck-up of a summoner, which makes her and MC two peas in a pod. this is also an interesting dynamic since it means that they can both help each other grow, which I suspect will be the main focal point of their journey together. In the real world, we unfortunately see MC doing more degenerate shit. Next up is admittedly pretty funny little sketch where MC needs to pick up a package that he ordered, ending it with the situation which, if it happened to me, I would just drop dead right then and there, out of pure embarrassment. No question about that. It's not all bad though, as it shows that by interacting with the other world, he is slowly coming out of his shell, even though if it's just going and opening a door to the outside world, which he didn't do in a long time. In I's world, we see her meet up with her bitchy classmate, who introduces her to her uncle. She then basically gets blackmailed into working for him as a maid. Afterwards, both our MCs live their respective lives until I gets attacked while tending to her field. Oh yeah, she's also a farmer now since the Earl is a piece of trash and everyone who works for him is stuck doing jobs of multiple people at the same time. This time when MC gets summoned, he is ready with some gear and some cringy lines too. I'm gonna say it again, I feel really bad for I who has to listen to this guy's cringe lore talk. Instead of batteries, our MC goes with his dad's lighter, which becomes a goddamn fire laser as he proceeds to slice our big chicken demon in half. Unfortunately, the second demon rocks up, and this time he came with the whole damn army of demon chickens. Now I'll be real, I had no clue what just happened, but MC burned some anti-mosquito incense which straight up just popped every single demon around him. But who cares about logic? Look at this shit! Look at it! This is insane! MC then tries to get I to wear some bikinis and gets to nope the fuck out of her world for that. As he should. Afterwards, the story picks up with the shooting star, which promptly burns Earl's house down. By the way, for those who don't know, Earl is the uncle of this bitchy classmate of I's. Now everyone get ready, for the very first time we get a massive pair of some googly moogly bazonkazongs, okay? Now, if you look back at your second monitor or started paying more attention because of some titties, first of all, my man. And second of all, you owe me like and subscribe. Sorry, I don't make the rules, that's just how it is. Now let's get back to the story. We see the now fan-favorite character, in a very generously shaped form of Lady Elera, summon a massive storm elemental. And I mean just look at this masterpiece! Next up, we get an explanation about what that mysterious light was from the mage guy who is just kinda there during this time. So apparently, it's a scout of a demon called Graya, which is then quickly followed by the big boy Graya himself. Herself? I don't know this thing's gender, so your guess is as good as mine. By the way, here it is in all its glory. During their escape, Graya fires a massive beam, but just as it's about to hit I, well, wouldn't you guess it, the pair of super small bikinis that MC gave her acts as a literal shield that protected her from the blast. So from this, we can already guess that MC has some kind of ability that lets him rewrite the rules of reality in this realm, since any bullshit he comes up with becomes real. By the way, I also had the same reaction as this girl. As this goes on in the fantasy world, in our real world, MC is still being a degenerate and scheming how to get I to wear that damn bikini, and as he goes to sleep, he gets poofed to the other world. We learn that Graya is something of a hunting dog for demons who shows up wherever there is threat to the demons and fucks shit up. So our group assumes that it's there for Lady Elera, who is apparently one of the best summoners and also was top of her class back in school. As our MC wakes up, we see the funniest scene so far, as he looks at the baddie Lady Elera, but then his focus shifts behind her where we see a scene straight out of Attack on Titan. Our collective eyeballs get attacked by the sight of Earl wearing the red mini bikinis. As our MC told I, its defensive effect is greater the more skin you show. So unfortunately, we have to suffer the consequences of that. So thanks for that, dude. Though I kinda feel bad for the old Earl, since we see him running away with tears running down his bearded cheeks, as his pride and respect for himself is no doubt completely obliterated. Lady Elera then goes on a bitchy spiel about how she is the best summoner they have and a nobility as well, so why would she needs to help some goddamn peasants and save their worthless lives? She then goes off on I, and our girl just takes it and even apologizes, since her self-esteem is about as low as my subscriber count. As I's kneeling and beating herself down, our MC decides to actually look pretty cool and defend her. During his admittedly pretty cool speech, he checks some energy drinks and then blasts off like he's part of Team Rocket. The fight is as always a treat, since the art style shows this raw scale and spectacle incredibly well. When the Griya gets its cheeks clapped, MC falls asleep, while the mage claims that MC is the one and only being who will save this world. And you know what? I'm starting to believe it too. As the only one who can summon MC, which would logically make I the strongest summoner, we finally see her gain a little confidence, since she decides to go with the mage to the north, where MC's firepower would be the most useful. I isn't the only one going through some slight character growth though. We see MC open up doors that are not only outside of his apartment, but he's actually going outside himself. Sure, it's only a dream, but then he wakes up in I's world and does it for real. We can see by being able to interact with I and her world, he begins to open up to the world in general. Slowly but surely, MC is overcoming his anxiousness and PTSD, even if it's just the baby steps for now. We can also see this beautiful landscape. It doesn't happen often to me, but while reading this manhwa, I'm left speechless by the art, so often that it's unreal. I mean, look at this and tell me this isn't some of the best art you have seen in any manhwa, or any media in general. Our goon squad now consists of MC, I, the mage whose name I forgot and can't be fucked to look it up, and Benny, who so far I have completely ignored at this point, and I feel I will keep doing so there you go, Benny. At least I mentioned you. The squad is being flown to the royal castle, and oh boy, check this panel out. While going to the flowing royal castle, I remarks that maybe if people in the power didn't use so much mana for stupid shit like flying a goddamn castle, there might be enough mana for the rest of the population to use. And you know what? I agree with her, since if there was enough mana, not only would the life of a regular folk be better, but the rest of the world might not be getting pecked by all these demons, who don't really use mana in this world, cause they use mana from their own world. Later on, we meet the king of this land, who seems pretty useless, so it's no surprise that the other nobles want to get rid of him. Chief among them is Lady Elera's father. Even though the king told the nobles to help our squad get to the north, they just sent them on their way without nothing. Then they are approached by one of the women who was with the king, as pointed out by our MC, who gives the crew some funds and a letter directly from the king. The truth is, the king is only pretending to be a schmuck, and is fully aware that the nobles are going for his throat. During the travel, our party decides to rest in an inn where MC decides to peace out, since he needs to rest and get ready in his world. I then tries to buy some supplies, but she gets robbed before she even has the chance to. Go fucking figure. As for MC, in his world, he gets grilled by his father for not answering the door when they called for him. Next time we see I and Benny, they just met Captain Aika. Good lord, this artist likes some thick as honey, huh? Not that I'm complaining though. She and her crew are currently hunting down a demon who looks just like a massive rhino, and something straight out of the Monster Hunter. I and Benny then get invited to the Captain Aika's camp, where after talking for a bit, I asks them if they want to join her on her mission, to which they then promptly laugh in her face. But lo and behold, she whips out the royal decree, only for us to see her tied up to a pole, bloody and beaten up by Captain Aika. Now, her reason for doing this is that she was also working for a king with her crew, only for them all to be killed by king's men when they were returning with the report from the north. During this, most of her crew was killed and she lost her eye. After hearing this, I just now realized that all this time she just did what she was told by everyone around her without ever thinking for herself. But before they can finish, I and Benny, massive fuck off knight straight out of Dark Souls shows up to ruin their day. As they are shitting in their pants because of this massive boy, our girl I starts flexing on them with her newfound confidence. Also, look at this weirdo. I'm starting to think that the pedophile proclamation might have just been some kind of Freudian slip of the tongue. He's a little sus is all I'm saying. I mean, look at this statue. That looks like a kid. Dude, this one's on you. I can't defend you on this one. Captain Aika decides she won't kill I and Benny just yet, but she cuts her fucking eye out! What? That's it, you goddamn thought. Now you did it. I'm calling in the airstrike. Your ass is getting smoked. Let's purge this bitch and all her goddamn crew. Sorry. I lost my composure there a little bit. Benny finally becomes actually useful and gets himself and I freed. Man, I feel bad for her. Benny wants to just give up at this point, but nah. I says, fuck that. I ain't going down without no fight. Well, maybe not exactly like that, but she still does refuse to give up, even if her confidence took a hit and she's back to thinking she's useless and weak. When our protagonist gets beamed up, his sus figurine becomes an actual person as he licks her, and yeah, she don't take too kindly to being licked by this weirdo. And even though our MC is most definitely a weirdo, he finally has someone he cares about in I. Luckily, our overpowered MC easily heals I's eye. We then get another badass shot that's pretty cool low-angle shot of Captain Stabio Eye. By the way, notice how the artists have really good grasp on texture. We can clearly notice that this character wears quite a bit of red latex on her legs, but if we take a look at her black waistcoat, it clearly is slightly different material as opposed to the red latex or the white fabric that makes up her titty cover bra thing. We are able to tell them apart immediately because the texture work goes absolutely nut in this manhwa. Our favorite captain Got One Eye thinks she can 1v1 this massive Dark Souls boss demon, and as you can probably guess, she does fuck all. During their scuffle, MC pops in only to compliment her eye patch, which, yeah, I love a good eye patch character myself, dude. Our MC again gets absolutely smacked, but since he's the MC, he's fine, but he keeps bitching to everyone that it hurts him. Captain Aika is straight up flabbergasted when she sees I with both her eyes. I think she might be a little jelly. And it looks like she might finally believe I when she says that she can take care of the demon. Well, not her herself, but you know what I mean. MC then whips out his new totally spice-ass gadget, the mighty laser pointer! Which, and now get this, goes straight through the demon, which we knew was gonna happen, but then it goes into space and destroys a goddamn planet! A planet! God, I love this manhwa. The boss dodged, so yeah, we ain't done yet. He then whips out his dad's lighter and starts round number 2 of this fight, where he gets his ass handed to him actually. Now it's MC's turn to feel inferior and like a fuck up, while I is the one supporting him while the boss is charging his ult, I guess. Looks sick though. She then goes to Aika and gets her magic dagger, and gives MC a little one-on-one coaching session. Ding 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 ding! Our MC just got a power up. I repeat, our MC just got a power up.
Oh my god! Okay, it's happening! Everybody stay calm!
What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
Calm! Wait! Calm down!
So yeah, he whips his way through this fight as well. After the fight, I and Aika have a little heart-to-heart where Aika says she's sorry about last night. Like, that's nice that you're sorry and all, but you poked my eye out, so maybe a little, sorry. Ain't gonna cut it, girl. Is what I would say if I was I, but it is what it is, I guess. Then they say their piece and each group goes their separate ways. We also learn that most people get their information from traveling bards, who just so happen to shit on the king wherever they go, so I guess they are in the pocket of the nobles, trying to bring down the king. We then see Lady Elera's dad and some other schmuck noble twirl their mustache and discuss their political schemes. Basically, they are scared of ice power, so they want to get rid of her when she gets to the port town. We also got the confirmation that the nobles work with the traveling bards. Who would have thunk, huh? Next thing we know, we see band of bards who think they can take MC and I. So just in case, I already prepared some appropriate music for them. Now this is interesting. They do indeed have a sea in this world. It's just that it flows upwards towards the sky. What? And looks cool while doing so. As Demon roars nearby, we see a girl from the band crew, who was obviously gonna be the only one who was gonna matter even a little bit. MC then tries to act cool and gets smacked away. And as always, leaving the most lame first impression you could think of. He is a human equivalent of the feeling you would have if you decided to finally go talk to your crush, only to slip on a banana peel and dunk your head in the used toilet bowl right in front of her. I just love seeing the embarrassed face of everyone who has to listen to the MC's cringy spellcasting chants. But then again, it works, so I can't be too mean to him for it. I mean, look at this nice, clean slice. And now, everyone brace yourself for the biggest plot twist so far. That is a dude! What in the trap hell is going on here? You're telling me that is a dude? This? He wears a lipstick and is caked the fuck up. Nah, I don't buy that. That's gotta be translation error or something. Squad learns that the port city is destroyed and they set out to try and find a boat that they could cross the sea with. And color me impressed, they actually do. But even though the boat isn't in complete shambles, it still won't be able to get to sea before the tide rises. Our goon squad then meets with the trap master, who's wearing a goddamn dress because of course he is. As he feeds our group the sleeping poison, he also tells them a legend about the sea goddess. What? Oh good googly moogly, what do we have here? You can't be doing this to me, artist. My heart wasn't ready for this. Anyway, as I was saying, the goddess loves song, so that's why the Bard Guild is located here. MC then basically rips the trap bard a new one, which, you know, he might actually be into, by pointing out that the bards don't actually know what the king is like and they just spew whatever the nobles shove down their throats. While roasting the Trap Lord 3000, MC notices that Benny and I are both out cold, and since the poison doesn't work on him, Trap Bard goes to kill I while MC gets poofed back home for some reason. Situation now doesn't look too good, since it looks like that trap fuckface actually killed I, though I doubt it. He then lights a lantern like he's asking Gondor for help. This signals his buddies to come and finish the job, and he gets stabbed for his effort, while learning that not only did his buddy screw him over by giving him the least amount of money for doing the hardest part of the job, but that they also got killed by our dynamic duo here. So yeah, that's what you get, you schmuck. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes, as they say. We then get a scene where one of the ding-dongs stabs I over and over and over again, and God, I hate to admit, it does look pretty cool. Now, in the real world, I have been largely ignoring MC and his family situation, since it was the same stuff over and over again. You know, mom was trying to be nice and caring, and dad was just angry with him for being useless. Yet still, he did try to help him a little bit. He still cares about his son, and even though he is mad at him, he is more mad at himself for not being actually able to help him much. And this frustration then turns to more anger that is directed towards his son. Well, back to our MC, he finally has a moment with his family where he apologizes for acting the way he was acting. Now comes the part where MC puts on his big boy pants and actually goes outside. His only thought being that he needs to get medicine for I, but when he actually gets it and the adrenaline levels go down, he notices all the people around him and gets a panic attack. And well, he then gets teleported back in front of all these people, so yeah, I don't know if this will have any major repercussions, but I guess we'll see. Now let's check on what our boy Benny is up to. Well, he just woke up only to see our poor I stabbed to death next to him. Seriously, this girl cannot catch a break. He obviously freaks out, which alerts our dumbass duo. They were just kinda near, arguing about how to split the money. As soon as they see Benny awake, he just legs it. He even goes into a 4-wheel drive. While fleeing like a wild boar, he runs into MC, who then wastes no time and goes in for the kill. But the kill itself is pretty tame and underwhelming in my opinion. Finally, when MC gets to I, he immediately begins to heal her. The other schmug, the one who stabbed I and who absolutely deserves to die, was smart enough to get the hell out of there before MC and Benny arrived. Now we see him spying on them from distance while being suspiciously interested in magic from our MC's world. He also whips out some doodad MacGuffin, which appears to summon a flying fortress. Surprisingly, MC isn't able to resurrect I completely, and while her body is fine, it looks like her soul already peaced out. Before our MC can try anything else though, the piece of absolute trash that killed Ai comes face to face with our MC, all on his own. Next up, we get some exposition from the stabby dude. I don't even think he has a name. And MC just kind of makes his own story that just so happens to be completely correct. The gist of it is that the king and mages would like to end the demons, but since the nobles control other guilds, one of which being the Alchemy Guild, who are responsible for creating the Shellcons, which are capable of sucking the mana from the air and using it to do stuff like levitate a castle and make magic weapons and such. This way they use all the mana in the air and the mages can't do shit and king can't do anything to help. But the nobles can't just not do what the king says, so they try to appease the king by sending recon missions to the north and either kill them before they get there, or if they survive there, they will just kill them when they return. That's actually what happened with Captain Pokyoai and her crew. Then they will have the opportunity to kill the king and with the help of the bards spin the story any way they want. After this talk, MC and soon-to-be Extra, who we learn is an alchemist, go to duke it out, but MC's magic somehow gets nullified and he gets smacked. Since his enemy is alchemist, he can easily suck MC's mana, making him weaker and not being able to go on the offensive. After getting his cheeks clapped, MC gets slashed a bit. However, before he gets finished, the trap boy snoops in the alchemist journal and tells the MC that his mana gets the suck and then gets sent to the flowing rock, which is just a huge shellcon that the alchemist called over before. With that, we all know what needs to be done, and MC just casually overloads it with his raw magic power output. But wouldn't you know it, that ain't the end of it, because next thing we learn is that not only was the Shellcon storing the mana, it was also using this mana to create a new life form, which just so happens to get completed, well, right about now actually. When we finally get to look at this thing, it ain't exactly a looker, let me tell you. Also it can talk, which is something new for us. So let me get this straight. We went from the Dark Souls boss, which was called Kaltovia, the Lord of the Wall, to a goddamn Bloodborne boss, who also says that he knows Kaltovia, so yeah, there you go, do with that what you will. Then a fight ensues where MC gets overwhelmed by the attack pattern of this boss. I personally think that if he just learned to parry properly and learned to have his dodges on point, there wouldn't be much of a challenge, but I'm a Bloodborne veteran and I can't expect everyone to be as good as I am. During the fight, MC figures out that you can actually use magic on himself to get a pretty chunky buff, which lets him slice our poor Bloodborne boss like a piece of ham. Now we can finally get back to important stuff like not letting Ai stay dead! Before MC gets to try anything, we get another player thrown into the mix, in form of the goddess of the sea, Lady Aya. And yes, if you find all the names confusing, you are not the only one, trust me. Let's see, we got Ai, then Aleira, Captain Aika, and now Aya. What the fuck, author? Anyway, the goddess shows us what a low tide looks like, and it's just perfection. Then she tells MC that she's got Ai's soul, meaning she is the reason Ai can't come back to life. MC then tells her to stop with her bullshit and let Ai's soul go. Goddess then decides to show her thick human form, to which I say, good lord! This artist was on some next level medication when he drew her. Well, okay, maybe not here. Her facial anatomy is a little off, but you know what? Who am I to judge, since I couldn't even draw a rough draft as good as this guy. Anyway, the goddess then basically says, fuck them humans, I couldn't care less if you all die or not. Luckily, MC pulls nat 20 on persuasion, and she lets Ai's soul go. Of course, she has to add some certain conditions to it, but who cares? It's not like it will matter for quite some time, I think. And so, finally, Ai is back to the land of living, and all is well in the world. And with that, we come to the end of the first part of our epic journey through this mystical land with our flawed yet hopeful protagonists. As you can tell, this video is gonna be the first half of the whole story. I decided to separate this video because of two reasons. First reason is that I want to see reaction that this format gets and see if there are some things to tweak for part 2. Second reason is because of some personal stuff, I might not be able to work on this series for about 2 weeks or so. So far, this series has been an absolute joy to read, and the feelings of grandeur this art was able to create was impeccable. I do hope that you all enjoy your time with me today, and if you did, please be sure to like and subscribe. It will be most appreciated. It will help this channel grow and actually tells me what you guys like and what you don't like. If you want to see part 2 to this story, other manhwas, or any other media in general, be sure to let me know in the comments. What was your favorite part of our story so far? Be sure to let me know. With all that said, have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.